Okay, cool. All right, so let's tune first. So you tell me if you're in tune or out of tune, and if it's not in tune, if it's too high or too low. So starting with your A string. Is that in tune?
No.
What do you think it is? Too high or too low?
Low.
Good. So do you remember how to do it?
The fine tune?
Yeah. Better or
Better, but not. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes,
A little off.
no? A little higher low.
Low.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright. Just based on how you tuned it, let's just draw a straight bow. I know you don't have a mirror, but let's just go over that. Okay, good, yeah.
What string do you want?
Pick a string. Any string. Okay, pause. Look at your right hand. Is it good? What did you just fix?
My thumb.
Good, exactly. But it's good that you were able to point out what was wrong. Like face. Yeah. Just. Good. So, and your pinky is straight right now. Just remember to keep it curved. I know you don't have a mirror to look at, but on the, just do it one more time. Okay, good. So the down bow is pretty good, but when you go for the up bow, what happens is you go in a little bit, and then you go like that. So just when you have a mirror and you're practicing, whatever, just try to keep that from the elbow, everything like really consistent and stuff with going up and down.
Okay.
You know. But good. So today we're gonna focus on like intonation and hearing the notes, and the pitches and stuff. Okay. So, and that involves your fingers and your left hand. I just want to make sure to keep going. Okay. Good. So, do you remember that tapping thing that we did?
Yeah.
I think it was last lesson or something. So, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it over here. Just so you can get that motion, how it's coming from the knuckles, remember? Good. So, try to wrap your hand around it a little more and have everything like fall down. Mm-hmm. Good. And now let's put that on the fingerboard. And try it like first finger. So just with just your first finger first. You can do it put a little more pressure. And try to wrap your arm around a little more. Good. Make sure you really lift it off. Good, yeah, good. Okay, now second finger. Mm-hmm. Good. And third finger. Good. Try to space it out a little more. So like stretch it out a little more. Because right now you're kind of like that with all your fingers touching. So just a little more space. Good. So a common thing that happens to a lot of people, and it's happening a little bit right now, is that like your finger is collapsing. So when you put it down initially, it's fine, and then it just goes like that, kind of, sort of.
Dang it.
So you want to try to stay away from doing that and keep everything always curved, like at all times, because you can get a lot of like problems by doing that, and just it's not good for you.
Okay.
And also, see if you hear a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just doesn't ring as much because I'm covering the other string with my skin. You see how that's like touching the other string?
Yeah.
So that's another reason why you want to keep everything super rounded. Like kind of like you're making like a bridge. Like you can go under it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Do you see the difference and feel it too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your fingers down and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so let's just play on the D string. Just play open 1, open 2, open 3. Okay. And use the whole book for it.
Oh.
And so, did that feel okay?
Yeah.
What
It was
felt
okay.
weird about it?
It's really hard to like keep my fingers from bending.
From bending?
Yeah.
Okay, so to work on that, just do like the tapping exercises. I know they're annoying, but like they really help with that, and just like kind of getting them stronger and that motion of just placing them. You want your fingers to always land on the fingerboard on the pad of your finger, and not like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want it to be right, like you're landing on it and you're going over it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So try that exercise one more time, and just keep in mind that you're going like over it and you're landing. So listen to that note, and listen to this note, and then play yours. There it is. Good.
How do you find that every time?
That's just like, okay, so remember how we talked about like the natural, like first position, how your fingers go, like this is first position? And do you remember the thing with the octave, how we check with our third finger? Like that's out of tune, right? That's out of tune? That's in tune? Do you hear that? That's in tune?
Yeah.
Right, so with your third finger, that can kind of be like your reference point. And you, what?
I was gonna say also probably just practice on that. And
yeah, exactly. And also, you know how the whole and half step thing. You know what a half step is, how it sounds. Is that?
I was gonna say, is it?
I hope that's still going.
I think it's still working.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So you know how a half step sounds like kind of like that, like just very close together, like. So for your first finger to land in tune, you want that whole step. Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really just practicing with that. You can like play it on the piano and match it. You play with a tuner. Like there's a bunch of things to help with that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So. Yeah. Try that one. Good. Keep your fingers there, but check with your open string to see if it's in tune. Is it too high or too low?
Too high.
Good. Good.
There we go. That one's better.
To that. Good. Yeah, so that's the idea, and it's good though that you're able to hear how it's not matching, but so it's good. Awesome. Okay, so that looked better with curving the fingers. Did it feel any better?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay,
I was trying to
that'll
reach
come with practice and just like the tapping exercise, like I said.
Yeah.
That'll really help with that.
Okay.
I think. Cool. So we're gonna talk about a chromatic scale. Do you know what that is? No. Okay. So that's like the cool thing that you're like, just like what.
Okay.
By definition, it's like every pitch in a scale. So instead of that's just a major scale, major G scale.
Okay.
You have
It's going up by like half steps and stuff.
right, exactly. That's the idea. Every half step is a chromatic note.
Okay.
So we're just gonna do like the fingering of it. So just listen to how it sounds first. So you open D.
Okay.
So what you're doing for that, you're putting your first finger. So this is where that whole and half step thing comes in with the first finger, and how we said to find the first finger to be in tune, you want the whole step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for this kind of chromatic thing, you want it to be a half step. So are you going to be in first position for that then, do you think?
No.
Right, because first position is that whole step.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Higher
lower.
up. Very
Well,
well,
higher up, like looking at it that way,
Yes.
but we would call it lower.
Oh,
Like that would be, this would be called a low one.
Okay. And then if you went up here, it would be high.
Well, just, this would be regular one, the whole step,
Oh, okay.
and then low one would be the half step lower. So that's low one for that. And that's where the fingerboard like chart can come in handy. So remember how like what these circles meant, how that was like the natural first position, and like your regular hand frame. So like on the D string, this note would be a D flat because it's a half step below E, which is your regular first position first finger.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Were you gonna say?
No.
Okay. So by looking at this, you can see all of the notes that you can play chromatically on the D string in first position.
Okay.
Well, in the first
And I
position.
start open, right?
Right, yeah, you start open. So what you're going to do is, I can actually write it down. Your open string, this will be a low one. And then
this one, regular after that.
and then regular one, right? This is going to be a low 2.
Okay.
I'll explain that in a second. This is regular 2, or high 2. Regular 3, and then a high 3. So, by stretch 2, do you remember in Twinkle how one coming down was like 3, and how 2 touched the third finger?
Yeah.
So that's the circles, like the F sharp is a high 2, we call it.
Okay.
And that's what that arrow means, with the up. So that means that's a whole step away from your first finger.
Oh, okay.
So the low 2 for the F
Would just be
would mean
closer.
it's a half step from your first
Okay.
finger. So these two fingers are pretty much touching. So your hand frame with the low 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Like
Kind of,
this.
yeah.
So your first finger and your second finger touch.
Okay.
On the fingerboard, like that. And then your third finger.
Just like that.
Right, exactly. But these two would be closer. Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, holding it up doesn't help with that. Yeah, you can bring your elbow around one too.
It's so unnatural feeling.
Try to like. Relax your hand. Is your hand? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the more I relax it, the more I can't get to it.
Try to bring your elbow around more. That might help you.
Can't. That's as far as my elbow. I can do the other way.
Do the tapping for a sec. Don't push down so hard. Because I think what's happening is you're going like this, like you're going like that, and then you're pushing so hard that your fingers are forced to move down. So just do it. Do you remember the thing we did with the harmonic thing? How we just like touched it like lightly,
Yeah.
and then we slowly pushed down until it made a sound. Let's do that again. And then as soon as you hear like a clear sound, don't push down any harder.
Okay. So with just one or two fingers?
Do it with your third finger, because that seems to be where it's having the most trouble. Come on, look at your right hand first. Just always pay attention to that. Yeah, good. And make sure that, like, when you're doing this kind of exercise, don't be afraid to use your bow, because if you don't use your bow, you're not going to get really any sound out, so you won't know if you're pushing down hard enough.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good. So that looks better. Does it feel any better? Does it feel any different at all?
It feels less tense.
Less tense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So that's just the idea you want to keep in mind, that you don't need a lot of pressure on your fingers in order to make a sound come out. I know this is annoying, but it'll really
No, I know.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Good. And use your second finger now. Just like take your third finger off. Play second. Don't worry about the pitch for now. Okay, so is it curved or is it straight? Good. So don't push down too hard. Good. Let's do the same thing with the harmonic thing. Just like, don't push down at all. And then gradually put the pressure on. Good, that looks better. Does it feel tense at all?
No, not really.
No? Okay, good. Let's try it with the first finger. Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
First
that
finger.
looks, yeah, first finger, because that kind of just like falls into place. You know what I mean? Good. I'm just gonna stop this because it's long.